you want some more information on those videos, just hit that link in the description or go to paulgormangolf.com and go into the store area, and there's a specific link that's all Morad videos. And you got to get you some of those because by far they're the best thing out there to even work on in your golf game if you like to be a ball hitter. So Morad, right? There's Morad, early Morad, where Mac O'Grady is right over here. You take a look at that, early Morad there with Mac. You're going to notice how low the hands are, for one thing, right? He's got those babies way down low and a lot of knee bend. So if your hands are low, you're cocked already at almost 90 degrees, right? If I were to go like the kneecap high, and I lifted my arms up, you can see that's close to 90. Late Morad, okay, you'll see Mac's arms and stuff are much higher, and he's taller. Took knee bend out. As a matter of fact, in the Vegas video with me and Mac, he explained to me in the group why he changed, because of his back. If you saw the very early videos of Mac when he's in the white shorts, they call it the pink video because it's not very good color, but it is the very first description of his Morad system. And he goes through, I think, almost 2 to 3 hours of video explaining everything, and it's fabulous. If you
have that left wrist radius lock is very important. Next stage is the kneecaps. We discussed that, where you know the range of the knees and its role of setting up at address. You're in a constant change in radius, okay? Like there's a dancing routine going on in your kneecaps, okay? Come on, baby. Okay. So you want to make sure that those both kneecaps, you know their role, their relationship, setting up at address, taking the club back, going up to section number 3 here. Make sure the right knee doesn't straighten out because it gives too much mobility to the right hip. If the hips turn more than 45 degrees, the shoulders will turn more than 45 degrees. And then the club will have a tendency to cross over at the top, okay? If the right leg straightens out, it'll cross over at the top, and we don't want to be doing that. Also, one of the reasons why you don't want your right leg to be straightening out, okay, because of the possibility of crossing over, you don't want your right leg straightened out because here my center of gravity is in the middle of the foot. The right leg straightens out, the weight will shift back towards the heel. So, but now I have the weight on the center of my left foot, and so my right leg straightens out, my weight goes back to the heel. So I have a weight heel, this should be here in the heel, then I got my weight towards the left, and as I bend at the waist, now my weight's going to shift to the toes if I cut my left foot off the ground. Too complicated. Please be aware of that, okay?
If you copied that, you would be amazing, okay? If that was the only video you ever saw, you'd be incredible. He talks about the centered axis. So the axis part is just our spine, okay? This is axis can tilt, stay centered. So he's centered, right? As he comes in, he puts a side tilt in, right? And the axis is still spinning, which means the shoulders go from point A, left shoulder turns out here, right shoulder replaces it. And it's a ton of speed. I'll put some of the videos, like I said, let me get in here and show you some of the videos with Mac. I'll run them in there when he's doing that. He's Dave Stockton video, he's showing him exactly that. He's holding a pin, like a writing pin at the left shoulder. He said, okay, put it right there. And he turns that shoulder right to it, and then he goes whoosh, like this.
push that perfect circle. I can come right back here like this and have to disrupt my shoulder. You're still in your tilt. You're talking. Listen, the tilt changes.
Head staying very stable. And a big thing was about the neuro part of this whole thing with your eyes, foveal vision, which means your centeredness, central vision, staying looking at the, don't turn your head this way and have to look out of the sockets at the corner of your eyes. So that was a big deal for balance and how to stay not calculating as much. If your head's moving around and you're doing this over here like Scheffler, God bless the guy. The guy's just a talent, but if your eyes are over here and he's still hitting the ball, pretty cool. But when you think about ballet and the spinners there, they're all up here like this and their head's always level. But, you know, we see it all. But the Model 1 or early Morad is all about low hands, a lot of knee bend, right? And then it goes back like this, just a strong grip. So you gotta make sure you got your thumb over quite a bit and you have 3 knuckles over here at least and under the pinky pad with the handle, okay? And that's very easy hinging. So from here, it goes just around like this, lifts it up, bam, and it's got so much cocking here. A ton of cocking, a lot of speed there. And then, like with Jody Mudd, let me show you that video with Jody in there, because Jody's like phenomenal. Quit early, won the Players Championship, and a couple others, but he just decided to go back to the farm. But he was a badass, man. So I got a little bit of video with him and Mac working together. I'll put that in here, and if you want the whole video of that session out in Palm Springs, well, you can have that. Just go to paulgormangolf.com, get in there, you'll find it, okay? So, Model 1, very low hands. Both models, strong left hand. Model 2, less knee flex, a little more up. And then the biggest thing is the centeredness part, the central axis. You know, staying centered is out of there with the weight shift. You know, so we're talking about CG shifting. So now the CG is shifting. The hips are more forward at this point, halfway down than the upper body. So there's some side tilt coming in here that gets added in there, but really gets lean and everything over that front foot looking, and then starts to post up. His head looks like it goes up through an elevator. Fascinating. So the windows of trajectory, window 1 is the low ball flight. Hitting that windsurfer right over there, okay? Low. Window, well, the third story, window 9 would be in a corner, but let's say window 5 up to the top there. You would say, or he would say, probably window 9. So go window 1 on the downswing, right? So I'm very low. I look like I'm just going to smash down on this golf ball like this, and then go window 9 in the transition. Now, honestly, and I'm not kidding, after watching the damn Ryder Cup and all these videos that I'm looking at that no one's really talking about, is the upper body movement. I see Tyrrell Hatton, Fitzpatrick, John Rahm, on and on and on, that lower their rib cage in the backswing. Tyrrell raises the club in front of him like this. I'm just throwing this in there so we can pay attention, right? Tyrrell starts here like this, and then as he goes back, you see that club pop up, but it pops up from the tilt of his upper body. So it goes from here like this. Gosh, I just fascinate at the top of the spine here, how it changes GPS coordinates. Scheffler looks like this. You'll see him like here. And then what happens, guys, this is what I'm saying. It's like a reverse pendulum. Now here's my question that I want to know, guys. Let's pose this out. I know I'm doing a Mac video, now I'm off doing something else. But we got soft tissue between the rib cage and the hips. We got the bones and the bones. Soft tissue, the abs and stomach. The most flexible portion of your body. That's why when you see big guys that maybe haven't got on the fast track diet and office and, just big, why they always look, most of them always look syrupy, you know, like a Lowry, a lot of soft tissue. So he's got a lot of mass, okay, which is beneficial for power because it doesn't take him as much to generate as it does me or Fitzpatrick or whomever else. But the soft tissue can really twist and provide some action and also provide you the ability to bend to the ground like this and pull away from the ground. That's what you're going to see in this, what I think is cool. And I did some at home where I felt like I got closer to the ground. I know we've all done that, but what's not talked about is what it's all to catapult like a hammer throw this way. Incredible. So that's what I noticed with just about every great player right now. No one's lifting their club head, excuse me, no one's lifting their head away from the start line like this. No one's doing that. They're all loading downward. You're engaging so much more muscles when you do that. And now your center of gravity's gone down a little. So now we only have such a short time. Just go up. When you're up here like this is the problem I see with everybody. Everybody that gets up here says, well, I got to go down and then I got to go back up. There's no time. Zero time. Less than a second and a half. You got to be kidding me. So check this out. And you're going to see my next video that specifically talks about this framework of skeletal action, ribs going down and up, shoulder going down and up via the mid body, not so much pushing up from the feet. And what is the real deal? Because you sure don't see those guys leaping. I mean, Rasmus has the hyperextension going, right? Hyperextension here, boom. Fitzpatrick, hyperextension of the leg, hyperextension of the arms. You want to release into this club head some power, that's what you do. Mac O'Grady, take a look as I play some of this first run video of Mac hitting balls in Palm Desert. All right, hope you're enjoying this. I'm gonna keep doing these volumes with Mac. Sorry, jumped in there, a little bit of discussion of the Ryder Cup, but I'll make that in another video. If you wanna get me online for some lessons, paul@gormangolf.com, paulgormangolf.com to look at Mac videos and get those yourself. And membership's coming out. It's going to be released in about 3 weeks now. So there I'm going to do specifically membership only videos uploaded each month with my views that are going on out there that won't be posted anywhere else. Okay? So anyway, hola kala, all good from Greece.
So if you go to the top and right leg straightens out and then left foot comes off the ground, so here you have the weight on your right foot, the top of the swing, over here on your left foot. The weight's distributed like this. Come on, okay? It's got to remain fixated right across this club shaft. By the time you go up and you come right back on down, you've got to keep it the center of the feet. If you don't keep it the center, the vestibular arcular response will take over, and you've lost the balance because you're trying to move around a fixated axis. Okay? You cannot stress the importance of not having your weight change by coming out of your waistband radius lock, by having your right knee go this way and the hip hurdle slide over here. Okay? They're all linked together, and the easier it is that the central nervous system does not have to make any compensations from the top of the swing down through 6, through 7, through 8, so that you look like you just have one whole completed swing where the club just goes up the plane, back down the plane, straight forward. Okay? Go ahead. And you set up and address your left hand, and it goes up the plane, forward, right here. You don't want to be taking the club and your weight, right leg straighten out, weight going to the heels, left foot coming off the ground, then switching this way, then coming around, right? I'm checking the battery, to try to develop from young prodigy, or young talented athlete on the PGA Tour, or even in the amateur ranks, and trying to get to the more accomplished states of a virtuoso, or being just a very accomplished player. You got to be aware of these rotations and the segments of the rotation and how one relationship affects the other. As you get down to stage number, the radius block, third radius lock is the right elbow controlling at address, going to section 2, going up to 3, going up to 4. It's controlling the whole radius of the hand. If my at section number 3 going up, if I straighten my right elbow too much, I've elongated the radius here. It's a different radius than I'm going to have down at the bone. The brain knows that. Okay. So we got to be aware of the right elbow coming up this way and right back on down on a very sharp arc. Okay. Right elbow looks like it's coming up in this plane here, very close to the body. Right. Okay. Don't want to be going this way, then close and try to change it. Don't want to do that. Okay, so radius lock again of the right elbow is very crucial, influential. Address, section 2, going to section 3, going to section 4. Right elbow bending, allowing the club to go up the plane, the hands up the plane. Section 5, parallel to the ground. Section number 6, look at the right elbow straightening out. The hands have not moved in their forward direction yet, because you're waiting at the very bottom here for centrifugal force to do that for us. Haha. So, right elbow is controlling all of that. Right elbow on the downswing goes out this way, you're going to change the radius again. So, please monitor the right elbow. Okay, once you get by the right elbow, we're going to go to the waistband, the radius lock. Again, established at address 20 to 25% bent at the address position. This radius upper dorsal waistband lock controls the plane of the shoulders as they move up and down the plane. Okay. In a very fast motion, all this rotation of the shoulders is being controlled by the right elbow, the left wrist, the waistband, the kneecaps, everything, the hip girdle is all being controlled. The radius of that club head. It's a very complicated network. It's amazing how good the golfers do play. It's a tribute to the innovation and the miracle of the actual brain and cerebellum and how all the frontal lobes and how they all work together as one complete package. So, okay, now you have the waistband. Okay, its importance. You come down to section 6, you go into section 7. Now, if the waistband controls the movement of the shoulders going up and down the plane, how do you keep the shoulders moving on the same plane from section 7 to 8? How do you control that? By the second axis tilt moving around forward up the plane angle again. That's where you can take the club up, okay, and have the excellent balance. The shoulders are still moving up the same plane angle, okay? Going up, right? Have the same degree of axis tilt, right? So, you've got to know that this waistband axis tilt is going to be lost at section 7 coming up, and to keep the shoulders rotating the same plane angle, bingo. You've got to have the second axis tilt. How much this tilt is going to be determined again by left foot. How much the left foot is rotated out, how much is rotated in. If it's in, if I do the same swing, my left foot's at right angles to the target line, look what happens to my hip. See how down I am? See that? I can't control it. I must be here. But if the left foot is rotated outward 45 degrees, I'll take it up. Look at this. It looks as if I'm almost straight up and down. Okay? Hip girdle range does not go outward. Left-handed, if the right foot's at right angles, I'll take it up. Okay? See how the tilt? Don't want to do that with your long irons. Wedges, they're fine, not the long irons. Okay, the battery's still working. I only think we've got about 7 or 8 minutes left, so I'm in kind of a hurry to conclude this tape for you. So radius lock waistband. Next radius lock is discussed here is the 5th radius lock, and that is certainly the hip girdle. Again, I've discussed it earlier, just recently, the role of the hip girdles. You want your right foot webbed out a little bit in the backswing. That'll help support you from sliding too much. If the right foot's at right angles to the backswing, the hip girdles will slide, have a tendency to do that. You don't want to be getting into that bad habit, because you're changing the radius of the club head as well as your center of gravity motion. And it's very complicated to control and to organize here, okay? So, please forgive me for having this noise in the background. I hope it's not hurting our volume of the sound that I'm trying to transmit to you, okay? Very shortly he will be leaving. Okay, so here we are again. The hip girdle slide, you're going to control that range of motion by the position of your left foot, and that's going to determine what kind of flight you want to have on the ball. The flight of the ball is synonymous to where that left foot is positioned. The range of motion of the hip girdles is synonymous with where the left foot is positioned and the left kneecap. The left kneecap is a joint in between the hip girdles as well and the left foot. It seems that wherever the left foot is positioned, it's going to put the restriction on the left knee, which puts the restrictions on the hip girdles from sliding. Okay, valid point there. So, you got to be aware of how much the initial movement of the hip girdle is determined by the right shoulder as it moves down the plane. If I move it right outward, I have no slide to my hips. If I move too downward, too much inside out here, then I have too much axis tilt. Don't want to do that either. There's an ideal relationship for the right shoulder to go to at section 5 here to move straight downward. Okay, it's moving down, it's still moving out simultaneously, and it's still moving forward. Okay, all has to be timed together in one package. Okay, you have left wrist going top of the swing, coming down at the bottom, keep it in a neutral position. Stage 6, going to stage 7, going over to stage 8. If this stays level or pretty much cocked, the hands stay close to the body. They don't uncock and get away from the body. Okay, you want to keep it relatively close to the body as you move up the axis and up and over.
Hey guys, are you experiencing difficulties with your golf game? Did you know there are 3 major league systems that are used on the tour today, where the real-time adjustments are made by the tour players so that they can shoot better scores under the extreme conditions, and so can you. So just click the link down below. It'll take you to a free quiz. We'll determine which system is better for you so that you can hit your goals and drastically improve your game, just like a tour player. All right, we'll see you on the other side.